Have you ever looked around and felt like everyone else have everything figured out, whether it's their marriage or their career or their future plans? While you're still trying to figure out your direction, this video is for you. I've been there. Around when I was 28, 29, I saw this invisible wall. I felt like I could not push through. I was at a job that I hate, dreadful to go to work, and I was tired of pretending that everything was fine. And deep down, I knew that I had more to give to this world. At that time, I was working full time and in a relationship that I wasn't really fulfilled with. And I was constantly surrounded by events, friends, like things that keep me very busy. But even with all that noise, I felt very hollow inside. That's when I realized that being busy doesn't mean that I'm being fulfilled. Then I started asking myself, what's going to make my life more fulfilled and how could I live with meaning? In my 20s, success means stability, a good income, a stable salary, a good job, marriage, kids. But around 30 years old, I felt like that image of success start to not resonate with me anymore. I wanted a career that gives me meaning and passion, that I'm excited to wake up every morning and contribute and give to other people. So around that time, I decided to take a leap. I applied for a Master of Landscape Architecture program and I got accepted at UBC in 2019. That's when I started my career switch back then. At that time, I thought creating public spaces and design would be a great way to move forward. I went through school during COVID, kind of passed all the exams. I was so close to getting registered as a landscape architect. But after working in that field for 2 years, reality hits. The work wasn't what I imagined to be. I was mostly sitting in front of computers, doing CAD, doing revisions for the clients over and over. I mean, this could be very context based. Maybe it's Vancouver, maybe it's a company or wherever I worked. But I just feel like I wasn't creating a lot of impact with my work and my time. I spent 3 years taking a new program, went to UBC. Is this what I'm looking for? This is how my life going to be? And I thought to myself, I just couldn't imagine myself doing this for the next 20, 30 years. So earlier this year, I quit again. I didn't know what's going to happen next. I just know that I needed to reset. After taking a break for about a month or so, I decided to join the yoga teacher training program. I wasn't sure if I wanted to teach full time, but I knew that I wanted to just give my body a break, to feel my body again, to feel my breath, just give a break for myself and also some anchors for me in Vancouver, because I just feel like Vancouver is such a lonely city. It's so hard to make friends here. And going through school during COVID did not help me to make a lot of connections locally. So I said I needed some other building block in my life so I feel anchored and safe and secure. And around that time, I started sharing my stories online, mostly on Rednote, a Chinese platform. I shared my story about my burnout, my depression, and why I'm leaving a career or an industry that seems to be very interesting to other people. And to my surprise, people responded very positive to that. They said, oh, I really described what I have been thinking this whole time. You spoke my mind, or your story really helped me. That's when I realized that maybe my words could actually help other people. Maybe I don't need a clear label or title or a concrete framework to have meanings in my life. If you're feeling really lost right now, there are two things that helped me going through that, really dark and depressive phase. One is to go outside. Maybe if it's just 5 minutes, just take a break, go for a walk in your block, look at the trees, look at the plants, look at, cute dogs in your neighborhood. Something that brings joy and light into your heart. Maybe make a small ritual. You can walk to your favorite cafe or a new cafe you want to try out, grab a latte there, and that's your reward for going outside for that quick 5-minute walk. Second, I would say is write down your fears. What's the worst could happen if you continue like this? Or what's the worst could happen if you don't make a change? And if the worst happened, how could you prepare for that? Are you still going to be okay moving forward like that? And you know what? Being someone who is around 30 or over 30, you have life experiences and you've definitely had some life up and downs and you've gone through it and you actually successfully went through that and you're still here. So how I am learning to trust again. What I love about yoga teacher training is that it's okay to lose balance, because you can always lose balance in a pose and just start over again. Sometimes we think that strength is just holding everything together, but sometimes it's just about softening your body and choosing an easier pose for your body to digest and process at the moment, and it will still give you the same benefits as if someone is doing the harder pose. You might have experienced this, when you're focusing on your energy, your body, when your state is very joyful and happy, life just flows a lot easier for you. And I think the big advantage of being 30 or over 30 is that you have a lot of life experiences. You've gone through heartbreaks, uncertainties, maybe loss in your life, and you're still here. That means that you built resilience along the way, even if you don't always see that in yourself. When I feel overwhelmed right now, I just tell myself that just do just one thing today. Once I finish that task, today is a success. Everything else is a bonus, cherry on top. It's been 5 months since I left my job. I don't have everything figured out yet, but I just feel like I'm more joyful, I'm happier, and I'm in a better state. And for a long time, I finally feel that I have a choice. I have a choice that I could go back, find a full-time job, or I just choose to do social media or help other people or find other ways that I could control my own time and my own energy. You don't need an absolute yes. You just need to know that you have option to choose. So if you're watching this and you feel like you are kind of falling behind, remember that you're not late. You're just entering into a new season of your life that you haven't seen before. Listen to your body and slow down to observe what's around you. Let your inner voice really lead to your next step. And trust the process and take one small step at a time. Leave a comment below and let me know how you're planning to take your next leap.